Hello, everybody. This is Andrew. I'm here with the draft tool from fantasyfootballdraftrankings.com. I'm doing the auction version. So right now, Adrian Peterson is on the board. He's in my on-deck circle, and I'm going to pay up to 78, so $70 for him. So we'll see if I get him or not. 12-team leagues, you pay a little more. And after this, I can go over sort of how this all works. And I'll show you what this trick is. So, I don't know if his limit is 70, but if it is, I'm at it. And usually I would do 70 there, but I don't want to do 70. So, how this works is I have all the list of players. I've created the value added points from them, which I'm basing right here. And then their VBD cost. And Foster's. I'm going to pass on him. So, how this works is each is rank ordered. Their point total, then ranks them over here, and I say the base position is 36. So I look for the 36 running back. In this case, over here is Fred Jackson. So he is the baseline. He is going to be what everyone is compared against. So let me look for him over here. You can see his value-based drafting points essentially 0. So he has 0 VBD points on. Let me just do this. Which would be $33 for him. Okay. So basically, you go through that process of getting all the points for all the players that you're projecting, and then you're saying what the baseline is right here, position 36, so that's what I'm compared against. And for every point above the baseline, you create a pool of total points, which is right here. So there's 3,900 points essentially available because of the number of teams, the number of benches, spots, and the budget per team, we can get a total dollar value to spend essentially on these starters. The bench, apologize, it's a little bit complicated. Right? She was going for 67, so he was somewhat of a deal. But I'm going to go through this all really quickly and then jump back into the auction. So essentially, there's the league summary here. These are the starters, which is essentially what you're going to pay for. The average bench value, that's the value of the players who are outside of this. So if you look at the total points, it factors in these players and takes the delta between that and the total number of spots and saying, okay, I'm allocating $1 for every bench spot that's not captured here. Given that, how many dollars I have left to spend on the entire pool of value-based points, give me a dollar value per point. So I pay about 58 cents per value-based point. And this works perfectly because if you go and test it and try to build a team, the same cost will always result in the same points as long as you're setting it up correctly. So the other big advantage to this is the draft summary. And right here, you just type in the name and it pulls up the person along with the price. And right here, it tells you the different my valuations on average and the ESPN ADP. So on average, I'm paying $8 more for the first 50 players, and then $4 for the first 100 players. So it's something to keep in mind as you're drafting. You want deals that are essentially bigger than that number because there's going to be cheaper ways to get those value-based points if you hold to that. The other thing I'll say is updates as I'm going. So Adrian Peterson went for $69. Arian Foster went for $60. And as you can see, both the points and the dollars are going down as I'm doing this. So it automatically adjusts to the new number. Fix this formatting issue. Matt Forte, $47. Rice went for $60. Maybe Luck went for $21, and Rogers went for, wow, $51. So cool. Now you need quite a bit of money. So some of the money's coming off the board, and some of the value-based points come off the board. So now you have a new. This isn't going to move that much until you get later. 5 players is not going to move the needle, but it's just good to have, and it's good to keep updated. So Marshawn Lynch, I'll add him, and then I can jump back into the draft and slowly go over some of the other features. I apologize that I'm jumping around so much because this is in the middle of a mock draft. So, I'm next. The best thing to check out here in nomination recommendations. This is essentially a rank ordering of the biggest differences between VBD value and what they're going for on average. So on average, Frank Gore is going for $12 more than what I'm pricing him out as. If you calculate that with the difference here, you can see like there's a pretty big mispricing. So it's $12. He's $12 more expensive than I think he's worth, and on average, I'm paying $8 more. So it's really $1. So ooh, Doug Martin was just a big deal I missed. So it's important to look. So it was at 58 cents, and now it's at 59 cents, meaning that some deals will come off the board. That's going to be more expensive a point later, which is an important thing to keep in mind. Because if you sit there and wait for deals and it's getting more and more expensive for VBD points, then you're going to be in real trouble. So Jamal Charles, about $60. So let's not even play around with these guys. Oh, I forgot about the buffer, but I paid a little too much. We'll see if someone or not. So I overpaid for Jamal Charles by a couple bucks. Not a huge deal, considering it looks like things are getting more expensive. But always keep that in mind. It's not that I overpaid for Jamal Charles, it's that technically there are better deals later. So it would have been better to just hold off. And I know the difference is about $4 or $5. But anyway, so now it's. Oh, I missed that. Someone. So send him to the top of my thing. We're navigating Frank Gore. Someone else is overpriced. Deshaun Jackson. Oh yeah, Frank Gore. So CJ Spiller, and this is why. So CJ Spiller, and he's gonna go for 50. Well, I actually bet on him if he's that cheap. It's a form of pricing forcing. So now he's going $10 cheaper than he should, which isn't a huge deal relative to the $8, and I actually got a bigger deal on AP. AP went for 69, and I had him priced at what? 79, so about the same deal I got on AP, so not huge. So yeah, so those are the main features. Your nominations list over here, but you still have your typical draft board. Picks as you go. Just put in the dollars, it'll automatically update. So I for 53. You just follow it all the way through. Adjust your settings here. Go through here, make sure you get the ADP right. One quick thing about this is essentially you're setting the baseline to 18. So basically you're saying after quarterback 18 or at quarterback 18, because you'll have 0 VBD or value-based points, I'm going to pay $1. So it's a good thing to go look. So quarterback 18, I would only pay $1. Sorry, you have to look over. And at one point, when I paid more than $1 for people, probably free movie elements. That'd be 16. So one of the things I do is I just say I would pay 16 divided by 12. 16 quarterbacks, 12 team league, so it gives me a decimal value. My baseline now set to 16, and it adjusts the prices. You can see AP went up, so I probably got a bigger deal on AP, and Jamal Charles was probably a good purchase. But then I go to RB, and I say is Fred Jackson, but where is below 36? Mark Ingram, would I pay more than $1 for Mark Ingram? Putting him in Ben Tate, like I'm getting to the handcuff area, I probably wouldn't. You could actually make the argument to move it up. But I think it's about right. You're not going to be too precise. You don't want to be like, oh, I wouldn't pay more than, I'd pay $2 for 34, but at the VBD, a good ballpark. So wide receiver 30. Start over here the adjusted rankings. For Steven Jackson, this is actually kind of shallow. I would actually probably go a little bit deeper, maybe to 40. I mean, Chris Gibbons is a good sleeper. Wouldn't pay more than $1 or $2 for him, so we'll say 40. So it's at 2. So let's make it 36. Yeah, I don't want to value wide receivers more than running back, so I'm gonna leave it at 3. Tight end is a really tough one because, to be honest, I probably wouldn't pay. Am I paying more than $1 for Kyle Rudolph? No. I would say so. Not a huge difference. Maybe you could argue 10. Or 10 divided by 12. 10 divided by 12. And that's about how I would play it. So, standard league, but given your league and your thoughts, you may want to go deeper. So, if you wanted to do a start and scrub strategy, you could shrink this, or you could expand this if you wanted depth. So, if I wanted to be really deep, then I would change this to 5 running backs, and I would only pay $75 for AP or wide receivers deep. And you can see that because it's a lot deep points available, you're only going to pay 44 cents for each value-based point. Like AP goes way down. And it's good to play with those things and keep that in mind. And keep it adjusting as you go. So that's the value-based draft tool. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to mock draft as aggressively as I would like. He's going for a lot. But it gives you an idea of how the tool works. So definitely go check it out. The updated version is on the tool. It goes really deep, and if you get the premium players, if you want up to 100 for wide receiver, running back positions, and it's really cool. Drafts are almost over. I wish I got this out earlier. It is. Again, it's fantasyfootballdraftrankings.com.